This is TWiT.
Folks, you can't buy this in the U.S., so I'm going to go through this real fast. This is the Oppo Find N2 Flip. It is another foldable, is another flipping foldable. Aww. It is going to rival Samsung's Flip overseas, not only with the name, but also with this very beautiful saturated screen that it opens up into here. And notice how quickly it closes.
Oh, it's like a little mini phone. The dimensions of it, it's like a mini phone.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's neat.
Here it is relative to the Z Flip 4. So this one isn't on right now, but this is a 1.9-inch screen. This, I believe, is what, 3.6 inches on the cover screen. You definitely get more of that. Very hard to do this backwards, folks. You get more of that home screen shit on there. The only annoyance about this is the UI for the cover screen is not as intuitive as the Samsung experience. And the other thing is that if you use like a face unlock, it needs to unlock seeing your face before you can actually like paw at it. So it's a little...
So do you need to open it up in order to do that, or can it use those cameras that are back there?
No, I can do it just like this.
Oh, okay. But it's not
so
perfect.
It'll look at me and it's unlocked.
Sometimes those systems don't work as easily as they should.
Color OS is just basically Oppo's version of Oxygen OS. I'm not the biggest fan of what Oppo has done to the OnePlus interface, but luckily for me, they don't sell this phone here. So.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So if you had to draw a direct kind of like comparison between Samsung, who's been doing this form factor now for what, 4 years? I can't remember where we're at now, versus this Oppo coming out with its first of that kind. Like design-wise, like are they on similar footing as far as that's concerned, or is Samsung far ahead or far behind?
Yeah, they're definitely on similar footing. I will say, by the way, the hinges on this. Oh, so that was the other thing that they really bragged about, was that you can't see through the phone like you can on the. Yeah. This is the Samsung one. Right. You can see through it.
Yeah, the teardrop. Yeah.
This one actually clasps. It's Oppo. I mean, this is owned by a giant overseas conglomerate called BPK, and they have manufacturing prowess to be able to put something like this together. It does have a MediaTek Dimensity 9000 Plus in it, but if you're looking at benchmarks, like these phones are supposed to be, how can I classify it? These phones are supposed to be the regular to the plus, right? So like a folding phone costs more because of how much screen is in there, like how you have to cut the guts and put it all together. This one just feels like ready off the shelf. You're just going to go put a SIM in it and go about your day. And I do like the bigger cover screen. I think it's a lot better too if what you want to buy a phone for in this form factor is so you could do selfies. Mm-hmm. You know, because then you get that viewfinder right there in front of you. Yep. And it's way easier to deal with than the way the Samsung does it. So.
And for those of us in the U.S., this could be an indication of something along the lines of what we can expect from OnePlus. Yes. We know, I believe, pretty certain at this point that OnePlus will have their first foldable sometime by the next half or during the second half of this year. And, they seem to kind of share between OnePlus and Oppo a lot of the design stuff. So, yeah, it kind of seems very likely that the lessons they've learned with this are going to end up in the OnePlus foldable.
Yeah, I do think this is promising, just so that we can get more dependable or predictable foldables from someone other than Samsung. Not that Samsung's foldables are bad. They're great. Clearly, like when you love yours and that sort of stuff. But like, it's nice to have a little more competitors in the field, right?
Sure. No question.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I mean, just to kind of tie it back to, I mean, like, obviously I'm biased because I'm also a very happy Fold 4 user, but Fold 4 user. But I mean, when I go out, and I kind of get where, Flo, you were going with your article on the Samsung 23. Is that, a lot of these things that seem like iterations, like they're really beautiful, they're great, they're reliable, but they're the samesies. No iPhone user that is a friend of mine has cared about any phone that I've ever had except for the Fold.
Yeah,
except for the Fold, and they really like it. And so that is where
that's so true.
Yes,
that's so true.
People just
for me too.
Is Apple making this? Like I don't know, but Android. So it's exciting. I don't know. I just think it all ties together that this is where we're going, and it's very cool.
I think Apple
just
is working on it. Yeah,
I think they are too.
I mean, and especially, I mean, they're smart enough to know that their users are compelled and interested in that hardware, and to know that they don't have the solution. The other guys do. You know, the other people, the other companies out there do.
It's the software that makes it. Software makes the foldable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it better be tight. And I think early on it was a little, iffy with some of the early foldable makers, and now things, a lot of lessons have been learned in the last 3 to 4 years. So, yep.
Actually, sorry, just a really quick thing. My husband and I talk about this generally, and again, we're two Android developers talking about iOS, so take our bias. But something that has come up with iOS expanding their form factors is that iOS, the platform, has not had the same kind of tools that Android has had for doing form factors well. Like they're struggling right now to, all these different form factors, iPads and everything's. And so I think it'll be really interesting to see how they handle the foldable because, yes, the software matters. So I just thought that was interesting. We just had this conversation. It's only about like candy bar phones. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I just connect the dots there. Again, biased Android developer.
Connect the dots. You want to hear about the latest news happening in the tech world from the people who write the articles, sometimes from the people who are actually making the news? Well, we got a show for you here at TWiT.tv. It's called Tech News Weekly. Me, Jason Howell, and my co-host Micah Sargent, we talk with some amazing people each and every Thursday on Tech News Weekly, and we share a little bit of our own insights in each of us bringing a story of the week. That's at TWiT.tv/TNW. Subscribe right now.